Where's the... here we go. Hi, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Central Time, and 3 p.m. on Saturday in Queensland, Australia. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. Thank you so much for being with us.
Tonight's guest is Dr. Pamela Gay, the astronomer, podcaster, and CosmoQuest principal investigator. We'll be back in 6.8 seconds. Okay, Dr. Pamela L. Gay is an American astronomer, educator, podcaster, and writer, best known for her work in astronomical podcasting and citizen science astronomy projects. She is a senior scientist for the Planetary Science Institute. Her research interests include analysis of astronomy data, as well as examination of the impact of citizen science initiatives.
And we could add more titles to that. Pamela, thank you so much for being here. Tell us about yourself and what you are doing.
Well, right now what I'm doing is trying to liberate my Twitter so that I can announce to the world that I'm here. It's really a pleasure to be on the show with you. It sounds like there may be some audio issues.
We're hearing nothing problematic. I'm sorry if you are. I don't know how we can fix it.
Okay, there's just an echo. That's all.
An echo. All right. So we'll try and be quiet. I'll mute us, in fact.
So I am a internet-based astronomer. My staff likes to remind me I'm not very good with the real world and cannot be trusted with paperwork. But I spend all of my time trying to figure out how to use various technologies to more effectively both do and communicate astronomy. It feels better to sometimes say science because astronomy nowadays includes our own planet Earth. I keep talking about dinosaurs because they help us learn about our planet, our solar system, and all the particle physics that goes into understanding the early universe. I don't understand all of the science, but poking the technology to allow more things to be done is really where I'm at.
Great, thanks. And someone from the chat suggested maybe you also have a Facebook page or a YouTube page open that's broadcasting us. No? Okay, good. So we've eliminated that possibility. And thanks so much for joining us, everyone. We have some new people here. Daniel and who do we see?
Miss Brick.
You can read them. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ms. Brick. Obviously, you know her.
Yes, she's one of my friends.
Yeah. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Gordon Dewis. Kerbal01.
CosmoQuest is in the house, is what I'm hearing.
Hey, welcome.
Cliff, one of our regulars here. Cliff from Australia.
Hey, Cliff.
D. Sands from Mid-City, LA.
Oh, yeah. All right. From the meetup group. Awesome. Yeah, thanks for joining us. In fact, I have a question from the meetup group. Let's not forget that. Help me remember.
Okay. And Daniel also is local.
And he says audio is okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Pamela's groupies, apparently, according to this.
All right. Pamela has groupies. Yeah, sir. Jamming.
Noel Ruppenthal.
Hi, Noel.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
And that's it for now. All right. So would you like to hear our question from the meetup group? I don't know if she's here. Okay. So Bernadette from the Everyday Spacer Phoenix meetup asked, is our guest astronomer able to talk about the two black holes that are merging? And does that mean anything with regards to Earth? Great question.
There are so many black holes out there merging any given moment. It's really not a concern. I think the two that you're talking about are in the heart of a galaxy. Oh man, I'm trying to remember how far away it is. I want to say it's like 86 million light years away. Don't quote me on that number. It's not hugely far away. It's a merging system. And they've recently been able to peer down into the heart of this galaxy
Wow.
and tease apart just how fast the stars are orbiting two black holes in the center of this merging system. And they were able to essentially weigh the two black holes. And they're on their way towards merging far, far in the future. We will not be around when it occurs. But what is really cool about this particular research result is they were able to get the mass of two supermassive black holes in the core of another galaxy by using the highest resolution instruments we have. And it's just a really cool result.
Oh, so they're both supermassives, which means that one galaxy essentially ate another.
Yes, this is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
It's a slightly irregular looking system today. And like I said, black holes are merging all the time. LIGO detects it on a regular basis. The ones LIGO detects are a lot smaller. They're more stellar mass and intermediate mass black holes. But galaxy mergers, this is how we build a universe. They've been happening since the first galaxy met up with the second galaxy and decided to form a bigger galaxy.
Right, right. Yeah, it's really a wonderful time to be alive. There are so many different discoveries and interesting things happening, and great scientists like you that are making it possible for us to know what the heck is going on. Well, what actually started your interest? What got you involved in astronomy? When you were a wee lass.
So it's a combination of, like just about every other little kid, I liked dinosaurs and I liked astronomy. It was an asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, so clearly space. And and I mean, ultimately, this is going to sound so dorky, but I have been a dork since the earliest age. When I was really, really little, I watched the original Battlestar Galactica, and I figured out that most of the character names came from mythology, except for Starbuck, and I was way too young for Moby Dick. And once I started reading the mythology to understand more about Battlestar Galactica, because I was a nerd at a very young age, young enough to appreciate OG Battlestar Galactica. From there, I realized, wait, these constellations are named after the mythological characters. And then I got into the stars. And then one year, my parents, during a Black Friday sale, got the dorkiest Sears 4-inch reflecting telescope ever, the exact kind of telescope we tell people not to buy because they're just not that good. But that's what got me through my childhood. And I always had astronomy and science fiction and space science in the back of my head as something I was following. I once said I wanted to be the first journalist in space. I wanted to do space medicine. I was told so many times girls can't go into hard sciences that I always had some sort of an adjective on it. But I started university as an international relations major, planning to go into international space policy. And I
Okay.
discovered I hate law. And I really hate understanding economics. I do not like the amount of economics I understand, and I do not want to understand more economics than I understand. And
Econ major here.
astrophysics, yeah, so astrophysics doesn't lead to the same moral dilemmas that end stage capitalism does. So we need people who understand economics. I just decided I didn't want to be one of them.
All right, D. Sands has a question. I'm uncertain what the reference to the Sagittarius something colliding with Milky Way.
Huh?
I'm not sure what that means.
So is that I'm uncertain what the reference to. So there is a Sagittarius Dwarf Galaxy I
Oh,
believe, that was one of the ones that was one of the dwarfs that got discovered being shredded by our galaxy. Let me just fact check that real fast. But I'm
ah,
pretty sure that that is one of the
okay.
dwarf galaxies.
Yeah. Well,
Interesting.
there's a Sagittarius A and a B, right?
Well, so Sag A star is the black
Oh,
hole in the center of our
stars.
galaxy.
Okay, yeah. Okay, got it.
So Sagittarius Dwarf Galaxy is a little tiny system that has gotten essentially turned into what's called a tidal stream.
Hmm.
This is where, as a blob of stuff that isn't physically held together, um, approaches a massive source of gravity. Our galaxy is one.
Mm,
The side that's closest is getting pulled a lot harder. The side that's furthest away is getting pulled less, and the entire thing will stretch out. And so, what was once a nice little puff ball of stars ends up becoming a streamer that you can use to trace out where it's been
Hmm.
and bit by bit figure out what it was prior to getting strung out into a stream of stars.
wow, that's really cool and lovely explanation too. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
understood every bit of that.
It's kind of like
If you didn't, I did it wrong.
seems like it's on a much larger scale, spaghettification that happens at a black hole.
It's the exact same physics.
Hmm.
So spaghettification is an extreme gravitational environment where it takes a formally solid body and strings it out to potentially be just one atom after another, depending on exactly how it comes in. And if you took a human being of an average size, they could be strung out to a spiral 74 light years long, atom by atom.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are not insignificant or small. That's what you're telling us. I know.
When you're strung out as an atom after an atom, no, we are filled with many atoms and a lot of empty space.
Yes, right. So, you told me when we discussed this show and checking things out that you had the first science podcast. Tell us about that.
So back in 2005, when podcasting was months old, the ability to put together an RSS feed had just been developed. The ability to add enclosures was brand new and coming out of Harvard. I was living in Boston at the time, actually working at Harvard as a laboratory instructor.
Oh wow.
And I was attending the American Astronomical Society meeting in Seattle, and on the plane flight from Boston to Seattle, one of my colleagues at the American Association of Variable Star Observers had been reading about this new technology, again, coming out of Harvard, that people were using in all sorts of different ways. And one of the things that got highlighted was actually how evangelical Christians were using it to reach out to tech heads. And he came up to me at the meeting and he was like, okay, this is something we need to do, except to bring science to the tech heads, to bring astronomy to the tech heads. And so that was Aaron Price. We grabbed another friend from Boston, Travis Searle, who had a radio, television, and film background. And on February 14th, 2005, we launched Slacker Astronomy, which wasn't always safe for work, which aimed to be the daily show of space with silly skits. And at one point, I got talked into singing. I still regret that. Uh, but but it was an early day, and when we first launched, there was no science or technology category, and Adam Curry had to create it for us. And I still remember the day when he had listened to our podcast as part of figuring out where to put it in the podcast directory, and he talked about us on his show, and he was just like, and I'm paraphrasing terribly, he was so much cooler than I could ever be. He was just like, if someone like these folks had been teaching science like this in college, more people would learn science. And it was like, yes, we did it. We succeeded. We were dorks on the internet and we brought science to people. And that was the goal.
All right, very cool. So yeah, just to get back to the Galaxy Zoo, Moon Zoo, Zooniverse a little bit.
Yeah.
That was like, that sounds early on too. I think Galaxy Zoo was quite early.
Right. So in 2008, after I'd started Astronomy Cast, which is the 15-year running podcast I've been doing with Fraser Kane, I was at another American Astronomical Society meeting, this time in Austin, Texas. And I was interviewing folks. And one of the folks that I interviewed was Chris Lintott, who, along with Kevin Svesky, founded Galaxy Zoo as part of, basically, Kevin had a need with his dissertation and came up with the science case and came up with the data. And Chris reached out to some folks that he knew, and they put together this cool little interface that allowed people to say if galaxies were spirals that were S or Z orientation or elliptical or irregular. And we got to talking, and I was going to be going out to England for a American Association of Variable Star Observers conference in England. And he invited me to come out and give a talk at Oxford, and we got to talking and brainstormed some ideas for grants to take Galaxy Zoo and build it up into a much bigger platform. And we both applied for funding in our separate countries. We both got funding in our separate countries.
Wow.
And this was where Zooniverse came from. A few years later, I split off to do something that had more educational components to it, and that was CosmoQuest. And being purely US funded, we suffered greatly under sequestration. And so our growth hasn't quite been what Zooniverse's was. But yeah, I was there in the beginning of Zooniverse as one of the founders figuring it out in an elevator lobby.
Amazing things can happen in an elevator.
Yes.
So, okay, CosmoQuest, and this is a fabulous resource. I mean, tell people what they can do with it. And we have some, yeah, here we go. Here's the link for that, cosmoquest.org. And we have a couple more, make sure we share those as well before you go. But yeah, talk to us about CosmoQuest.
So we launched in January of 2012 with the Ice Hunters project, Ice Investigators project. This was a project that was working with the New Horizons spacecraft. And our goal was to help New Horizons find a target beyond Pluto. Now, as everyone now knows from the stories, all the data they collected from the ground was just not there was nothing with the right orbit in the data, but we found a whole bunch of objects. And that was the start of getting people's names out there as discoverers of things in the outer solar system as part of a citizen science project. From there, we've gone on to launch moon mappers, Mars mappers, Mercury mappers, and our most recent accomplishment was Bennu mappers, where we marked millions and millions and millions of rocks and boulders and craters in one summer to help select the sample sites for the OSIRIS-REx mission.
Right.
We're currently in a lull, mostly because I don't have a full-time programmer right now, and volunteer programming is a bit slow. We're this close to relaunching our Mappers programs and have grants pending. So right now, CosmoQuest is a place with the goal of learning and doing science, with the ability to learn a ton of science. And we're going to bring the doing science back as quickly as we can.
Yes.
So, yeah, go ahead.
What programming language do you need a programmer?
We need PHP and JavaScript with MySQL. We run a LAMP stack.
There you go, folks.
There you go. All right. So, all right, let me get this straight, because I know at CosmoQuest. Well, I've heard of CosmoQuest. I don't know exactly. Are these citizen science projects that regular folks can participate in?
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah,
we are... Go ahead.
we're literally a second generation to the Zooniverse project, where our software is oriented at people doing projects that are either more complicated or more tedious than a lot of the projects that you see at Zooniverse, but are then supported by a lot more ability to communicate directly with the scientists and get new content through all of the media programs that we produce. So we're never going to have the project that engages 10 million people, because we're doing projects that, frankly, 10 million people would not want to do. But the science community desperately needs done. And so it's the same kind of experience, but you're going to have to learn a little bit more and be a little bit more patient with the not necessarily as pretty images.
Okay, well,
that's fine, because one of the things that we do when we don't have a guest is we talk about the ways people can get involved with the citizen science project, and we demonstrate it, and we so here's what you do, and here's where you go, and here's what it looks like. And gosh, we're gonna have to check out the Galaxy Quest ones too now. Yay!
Well, CosmoQuest.
CosmoQuest. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, and CosmoQuest is and this is coming up.
CosmoQuest, the movie.
yeah. CosmoQuest is coming up at a good time, because next week we're filling in with another citizen science project, which is the last one we found on Zooniverse that we haven't done yet on the show. So,
ready for new ones.
So now we need more.
All right, so let's go ahead and share the other links for Pamela, and you can find Pamela at starstrider.com. That's your handle, basically, right?
Yeah, so you can find me pretty much on any platform as Starstrider with a Y. Mistakes were made in my 20s. So I'm starstrider.com, Starstrider on Twitter, Starstrider on Instagram, Starstrider without the E on Animal Crossing. E didn't fit on Animal Crossing. So pretty much, that's me out there on the internet.
And also here is Astronomy Cast. And those three were the main things you wanted.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I can totally appreciate that. We've been doing this a little bit over a year, and it's you just keep rolling.
Like all you can do.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so if anyone in the audience has a question, okay, here we go.
Oh,
yeah, I really like it too. I mean, I really, really like it.
Here's the thing with Galaxy Quest. If you happen to be at a certain Comic-Con in San Diego, there are jokes built into Galaxy Quest from that Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Inside jokes are a thing.
Well, when they're shouting rock, 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 there's a story behind that.
Okay.
Talking about the way she spelled Starstrider.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else you want to tell people about finding you, working with you, helping you, giving you money, throwing money at you, throwing programming at you?
So our programs are right now entirely funded through donations. Back in August of 2018, I got this horrifying phone call while driving, because that's the only time you get them. I found out about sequestration while driving. That one caused me to pull over to the side of the road, because it was bad. It was bad, people. So I had a telecon. I couldn't get out of it, and it turned out the reason I couldn't get out of it is they were saying that due to James Webb Space Telescope cost overruns, some things were probably going to have to get cut, and that was potentially going to be my project. And a few months later, 9:30 on a Thursday night, our funding was zeroed, and we went from a staff of 15 to, okay, how much money can we fundraise? And we're now a staff of 5, and it's the media side of the house that we've been able to keep going, because programmers are really expensive. So donations are a way that folks can say, science needs more funding. We need more humans doing science so that they can use the telescopes, so that they can use the data. We're really good at funding infrastructure. By donating, you can take that science needs more money and actually put it into action and allow the science and science communications to happen. If you go to cosmoquest.org, there's a donate link up at the top. It's a great way to find out about all the different ways that you can give. And Patreon is really what we rely on, because it's a way that we can, first of all, give more to the people who donate money by alerting them to all of the live streams that we're doing, sending them bonus content, and just reaching out and saying, here's everything that you're making possible. So patreon.com/CosmoQuestX, where X marks the science. That's the best way you can help keep the science flowing.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you tried going to computer science professors and making it a school project?
I did that once. I'm never doing that again.
Okay, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, no, it turns out that when students are assigned to do something and they have an entire semester to do it, they do it the 3 weeks before it's due, and it's not really usable.
Okay.
I've worked with students for a number of years. I adore working with students. They need to be paid for their efforts. And it's just like anything else. If you don't pay someone and they're doing it because they're being made to do it, like college students are paying to provide work. They don't have an investment. Volunteers doing something because they're passionate about it do amazing work. There are volunteers that we work with. Some of them are up there in the audience tonight that we wouldn't be here without. But college students who are paying tuition, you don't assign them something that you want to actually use later.
Okay.
Fascinating. All right. Okay, I know it is late where you are, so we're going to go ahead with the stellar events for this coming week. We're talking about December 3rd through December 10th, and I actually just learned about the Blue Marble Night. I have a link for that one. It's a celebration of Earth's best selfie. That's a hashtag. Also, Earth's first selfie is a hashtag for this event. It's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, Saturday, December the 4th. And at that link, you can register. And I don't know how long it goes. Like I said, I just found out about it. But yeah, if you want to participate in that, check it out. Then Globe at Night is still going. They have today and tomorrow. You go outside, you take a picture of your target, and tell them what you saw. We're looking at Perseus in the northern hemisphere and Grus in the southern hemisphere. On the 4th is the new moon. Venus is at its greatest eastern elongation. I think it is, right? And Mercury and the moon are in conjunction. Also, there's a total solar eclipse that almost nobody will be able to see. However, there might be some cameras pointed at it. Do you know of any, Pamela?
I don't. As far as I know, all of the ships that were sailing out to go take people to view it, all of them were canceled. I have a few colleagues that made it as far as Buenos Aires before they found out that the trips were canceled.
Oh, God. So if you're in the Falkland Islands, southern tip of Africa, Antarctica, southeasternmost Australia.
And by southeasternmost, we mean the most southeastern, little teeny tiny.
Yeah, Land's End in that area. Yeah, it's a bit remote. But yeah, there might be cameras set up. I don't know, because there are people in those places. So
heck, there's scientists in Antarctica. Maybe they can point a camera up.
Oh, I'm sure folks have cameras. I just don't know if anyone's live streaming.
Got it. All right. So on December 6th, Venus and the moon are in conjunction, and Pluto and the moon are in conjunction too. Venus, of course, visible. Pluto, much harder to see. And on December the 8th is the weekly space hangout. I picked up the information about that. It's where are there so many rocks on Bennu? Why are there so many rocks on Bennu with Dr. Silverio Cambioni. Did I say it right?
Close enough.
Good, okay. On December 9th, Jupiter and the moon are in conjunction. December 10th is the first quarter moon. And it's also, we're back to Friday night and our Friday night show. We have a couple of ongoing activities. Unfold the Universe is this project where they want, I think it's anybody, to imagine what the Webb Space Telescope might reveal. Deadlines for submission are December 18th, 2021. Unfold the Universe is the hashtag to look up that one. Then there's the Design Moon Digging Robots, a Lunobotics Junior Contest, which is a NASA project. NASA is seeking young engineers to help design a new robot concept for an excavation mission on the moon. And this is K through 12. Of course, if you're over that, you can ask to be a judge. That winner, the winner from each category will be announced on March the 29th, 2022.
Okay, if you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, December 10th, for another citizen science project, Witch Hunters, helping scientists improve the performance of the gravitational wave detectors.
And we're going to have to look into the CosmoQuest ones. Did I say it right this time?
Yes.
Yay! All right, we are looking forward to some future guests. We're talking to a lot of people, but right now we have Josh Carlson, who's coming back on January the 21st. He wants to discuss the second space race that's currently going on between us and the China-Russia collaboration of some sort. Like I said, we are talking with a few more people, but we will try to get them actually on the calendar for you. All right, so any other questions?
Well, Miss Brickitten said comment.
Oh, yeah, Comet. Yeah, Comet Leonard,
Great
right?
Comet.
Yeah.
Leonard, yeah.
Leonard, okay.
I haven't had a chance to go out and try and find it yet. It's currently at 10th magnitude, so you will need either astronomical binoculars, probably a tripod for something big enough, or a small telescope to be able to see it. It's getting brighter and brighter. I believe it makes its closest approach to the Earth on December 12th, and should be a naked eye visible object in January.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and this is early morning so far, right? Is that what?
It's switching over to evening, though.
Oh, yay! I like those better.
We all do. We all do.
Thank you, Ms. Brickkitten. I really appreciate you mentioning that. I have to get that on my list for the next show. Anything else?
Cliff made a comment about the such a long piece of string, 72 light years from back when we were talking about spaghettification.
Right.
And then, Chris, I guess Gordon do us just like saying so many rocks.
He was one of our mappers, and it was a lot. It was a lot.
I had a feeling he knew from personal experience about the many rocks on Bennu.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Gay, and thank you so much, everyone who came and listened to us tonight. We really appreciate that. We will be back on next Friday. Have a great week, folks.